regular Board of Education meeting to order. And at this time, this evening, we have the pleasure of having members of the Richmond Middle School Student Council who are going to lead us in the pledge. So if they could come up front. These are definite leaders because they followed the instructions to a T. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to introduce those that are here tonight. We have Mrs. Jar, who is their advisor, and we have Jacob Hill, Brooke Winkleman, Adeline Loftus, Luke Pastushin, Lillian Pites, Lexi Boudelier, Ella Hill, Evan Lavish, Alyssa Serby, Kira Swartz, and Sarah Youngich. Okay, thank you. At this time, if we could all please, and Brianna Albers. Where's Brianna? Okay, and Brianna is here as well. Okay, at this time, if we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys, great job. Okay, moving on. Next is our mission statement. Tracy.
At Richmond Community Schools, we provide a quality education that empowers students to be successful in a global community. Sarah. Here. Kyle.
Here.
Margaret.
Here.
Chris. Here. Sue. Here. Jessica. Here. And I am here.
Okay. Next will be a motion to approve the agenda, but I have a couple of changes. Going to item number 13, we will not be having the closed session for the purposes of negotiations, so that comes off. 13 becomes the closed session for the superintendent's evaluation. 14 is action items, and number B, letter B, which was to approve the contract, will now be replaced by the annual summer tax resolution. And board members, just to make a note, the negotiations we were of the understanding that we had a tentative agreement, but Mr. Walmsley got word not too long ago that it was not ratified, so that is why that is being taken off of the agenda. So with those additions, Tracy, there is a resolution that can be made.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as modified. Support.
It has been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, Tracy, I'm looking for a motion for the consent agenda.
Just so that everybody's clear, this is the way that this evening's going to go, right? Because it's my last meeting, and so I'm the one that gets to make all the motions at the table. That's how it even goes. I totally get it. Thank you, Margaret.
You're welcome.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve the consent agenda as presented in the attached documentation.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Frank?
There were no questions regarding the claims and account counts. You'll see a couple resignations for some coaches and some lunch supervisors, as well as the hiring of a new lunch supervisor. I don't believe any of them are here tonight.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is our True Blue moment. It is a time at our meetings that we like to recognize great things that are happening either in our district or out in our community. And tonight we have two. The first one is our Early Childhood Center, Miss Napier is here somewhere, and we are going to have some fun with the kids tonight.
All right, welcome. I'd like to welcome all of the families, students, and staff. Just by the turnout, as though it's hard with my back being to them. It's exciting and it shows a lot about the partnership that we have with our parents, the involvement, the teachers, everybody being here coming together. It's a later time in the evening, the kiddos are young, so I just want to thank everybody for showing the community how much these preschoolers really do mean to us. As we begin, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the music part and then they'll get started. Music isn't just music as we know it as adults, listening to it in the car. There's so much to it for our youngsters, and some of the things that are involved with that as we're teaching them through the creative curriculum is things such as their working memory, their expression, social interaction, and I could go on and on, but I know that they're antsy and excited, but I just wanted to bring to light that in this particular moment, when the song is sang together in their own spirit, it does show a sense of community, and that's kind of what we've all been practicing, is that we are all one preschool together, and we have been practicing as a whole unit, so I'm excited for you to see that tonight. Enjoy. Thank you. You're welcome. First, I'd like to introduce Mrs. LaGroy with her aide, Mrs. Machowski, and their wonderful 4-year-old students. All right, wonderful. And while they're coming up, I'd also like to introduce Mrs. LaGroy's PMGSRP class with Mrs. Ottenbacher. And Mrs. Kukuk and Miss Zeller's 3-year-old preschool class. Ottenbacher and Mrs. Shimoleski's all-day GSRP class. Mrs. Spratke and Miss Miller's 4-year-old preschool. And last but not least, Mrs. Ottenbacher and Mrs. Gerard's 3-year-old preschool class.
wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Take it out.
All right, boys and girls, wait for your teacher safely and follow them out to the lobby, okay? To all these
white and red. She was like freaking out if I didn't have her outfit ready. When did you guys get the email? I didn't get the email till like
Somebody call Mama. That'll be twice as fun.
yeah, well, her and I are on the same page anyway.
I know, she loves you.
Now we go find our
Need to go,
children,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
We got to take them home? Nathan.
Okay, that was great. Thank you. To our preschool. Now, Miss Warwick and Mr. Berkmeyer, our next True Blue moment is the Macomb County Diversity Summit and those students that attended there.
Christmas baby. You'll be in the hospital for Christmas. You gotta figure out what you're gonna do. Good job, buddy.
Jack said you did a good job.
Good job.
Mr. Berkmeyer, when you're ready, bring your cake.
Jason.
We're good.
On November 27th, the ISD held its annual Diversity Summit, and we were lucky enough to have 15 students from Richmond Community Schools attend, 10 from high school, and 5 from the middle school, which was our honor. So I'd like to bring the students from both the high school and middle school up. From the high school, we had Tristan Riggs, Sophie Brockett, Anna Mae Hayden, Madeline Walmsley, Luis Mendez Sanchez. We also had a few that weren't able to be here tonight. Austin Ward, Matthew Talcott, Ricky Holwick, and Autumn Hill. Also Terrence Seager. From middle school, we had Kira Schwartz, Courtney Van Gamplier, Emma Peters, Kate Brockett, and I'm able to be with us tonight, we had Marcus Thompson. We were lucky enough to have Miss Larratunda and Miss May escort these students down there, and not only did they have an opportunity to attend individual sessions that they wanted to, they got to work together as a group, as a cohort from each school, and come up with an action plan, ideas that they could bring back to school and share. But I had a few of the high school students who would like to share their experience.
You know, you can all come closer. We're not going to bite, we promise. Come on.
experience. I experienced the diversity summit, and it was a really good experience. I met a lot of people and I talked to a lot of people, and there was no barrier with talking to them without any their race, their beliefs, or sexuality.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and the diversity was a great experience. It taught me a lot of things that we could bring back to our school. I got the chance to talk to a lot of different people and know their backgrounds and their stories. And I learned that everyone has their own struggles and we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. And I hope I get to attend.
I was really grateful for the experience I had at the Diversity Summit, but I think it's really important that we bring it back to our school. And we made an action plan with Miss Laratonda, and that was to form like a group at our school for maybe new kids or anyone who's like diverse or considers themselves different.
Hi, I'm Tristan Riggs. I am glad that I was offered the chance to attend the 5th Annual Diversity Summit. Something I knew prior to the conference was the fact that you should walk around at home and in public at school with an open mind. But after the summit, I'm happy to say that I am able to grasp the idea of how many different types of people there are in the world and how you are supposed to accept every single person for just the way they are. I understand that our school isn't quite diverse as other schools are, but I would be happy to bring something like Anime had mentioned, the Diversity Club, for anyone who would like to join, no matter the sexuality, skin tone, or we just want their personality kind of thing. And I'm just excited to attend, or I hope to attend next year.
So, as you can see, the students are also wearing shirts. These shirts were designed actually by Emma Peters of the middle school, and we have them made so that our group not only stood out and stood together, but they represented that here in Richmond we honor the diversity we have and any diversity that wants to come our way. We did have some shirts made for the board. I'm going to have Emma, who designed them, hand them out to you as a gift.
Can I just ask, did you volunteer or were you chosen? Chosen.
Yeah.
And how were you chosen? Say it again?
Leaders.
Because you're a leader? Okay. So like teachers, that's what I meant, teachers picked you?
Ms. Borwick and myself sent out to our teachers if they had people that they thought would represent our school and our community well and be open to the idea of coming back and putting that action plan in place. So their names were submitted to us and we spoke with them to see if they would be willing to attend.
So, and it was all high school and middle school age kids from just Macomb County?
There were so many, there were like 600.
Really?
It is cool.
And so did you sit with Richmond people or did you, and then
At
you moved around? 'Cause you
first.
said you met and talked to different people, so how'd that happen?
There was activities we went to, like different rooms where you did, and you weren't allowed to sit with your school.
Okay. So it kind of forced you to open yourself up to it, okay. And it was good, everybody?
Yeah, I was able to meet a few people. We ended up like exchanging numbers and stuff, so we were able to meet different people from like different schools.
Right.
And they were awesome.
Right, exactly.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I hope
there's
that
a big
the
field
action,
outside Richmond.
the action plan we put in place, I hope that just moves forward because it's so important. Awesome. Good. Good news. That's great.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Good job. Thank you.
Just a quick closing point. County Executive Mark Hackle took a picture with Richmond and recognized our school district.
Thank you.
For embracing the diversity and the willingness to open our minds. And some of the facts that were shared were last year in Macomb, I don't know if you're aware of this, but 11% of Macomb County is born outside of the United States. And last year, the 4,000 residents that made Macomb their home last year, 2,000 of them were non-U.S. born residents. A couple of questions that the students were asked in the beginning were how many of your families speak one language or two languages? And it really was an eye-opening experience for our students to see kids at their same age group, peers in the county, and that there is more to Richmond and more to Macomb County and the experiences. One of the sessions was some high school students that told of their story as refugees coming over here and the struggles that they face. There were multiple topics that really, I think, hit home, and I can be proud of our kids and how they behaved, handled themselves, and the conversation that was engaged in that day.
Until they're motivated to bring it back. Yeah, which is that's good. It means a lot happened. That's great.
I love that one of them designed the shirt.
I do too.
I told her it was great.
Yeah,
Really good job.
It's a cool shirt.
Yeah,
It's a great shirt.
Good job.
Yeah, it's a really cool shirt. It's great. And thank you to Mr. Berkmeyer and Ms. Borwick too for being a part of that as well. We appreciate it. Okay, next, Tracy, I'm looking for a motion to go into closed session for a discipline hearing.
Pursuant to Section 8B of the Michigan Open Meetings Act and upon the request of the student's parent, I move that the Board of Education go into closed session for the purpose of conducting a hearing to consider the discipline of a student whose identity is known to the Board as student 121018.
Support.
And has been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Tracy?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Jessica?
Aye.
I vote aye. We will go into closed session and we will be out after to continue our meeting. But if you have a question you need answered, someone will get back to you. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? Okay, next, Lexi.
As usual, I'll start off with the Lee School. McDonald's donated $300 from McStaff Night to be used towards PBIS. The Lee Crisis Management Team met on November 28th to discuss school safety. A True Blue Assembly took place on November 3rd, and the next True Blue Assembly will take place on December 20th. December 5th, the Lee had the Detroit Red Wings School Assembly to present their messages of education, dedication, and a healthy lifestyle. The program graciously donated floor hockey equipment for the PE department. Santa Shop is all this week, December 10th through the 14th, and the classes come down to shop during their scheduled library times. The Student Council sold Smetzels for $1 last week, and these were sold during their lunches as part of the fundraising. Student Council sponsored a toy drive for Sandy's kids also last week, and announcements were made all week to ask the students to bring in donations. And lastly, for the Lee Holiday Concert is December 17th at the high school auditorium. The 3rd grade starts at 6 and the 4th at 7:15. Moving to the middle school, the PTA dodgeball tournament is next Tuesday, and the spelling bee and geography bees are this week after school. The band concert was last week and it went excellent. And choir concert is this Thursday at 7 p.m. The Student Council food drive is going on, and the Lions Club pickup is next week. The Builders Club held their annual Christmas wreath sale. The band took a trip to the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, which I think is a really cool opportunity for them. And the 7th grade took part in boater safety. Lastly, for the high school, Christmas Spirit Week begins next Monday, the 17th, with a different theme for each day. The Student Advisory Committee has been selected, and they will begin meeting on the 1st and 3rd Fridays, beginning after Christmas break. and this committee consists of 15 students from all 4 grade levels. Winter athletics have begun, including bowling, which had over 40 students try out this year, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
How many can be on a team? Yeah.
I don't know, but
Well,
I
5 bowl at a time, girls.
There you go. Didn't know. I didn't know.
Right.
I know they split it up with boys and girls team, but I don't know how many can be on each team.
I really didn't know the answer to that. Thank you.
Last week, the RHS AP English classes celebrated the holidays with the classic Dickens tale, A Christmas Carol. Mr. Wagner's classes went for a behind-the-scenes tour of how the businesses at Little Caesars Arena are run, and then they had the opportunity to watch the Pistons game, and this was on December 7th. Lastly, the Richmond Community Schools Winter Showcase will be up in the RHS Auditorium until holiday break, and there's some great artwork on display for anybody who wants to check it out. That is all I have to report.
Tell me about Christmas Spirit Week.
Well, I have each day. So Monday is Christmas PJs, Tuesday is whiteout, Wednesday is ugly sweater / hair holiday accessories, and then Thursday is your color day. And I'm not sure what color each grade is. But yeah, it should be super cool.
Do you have everything you need?
Not picked out yet, but I definitely have Christmas stuff on hand.
Very good. Very
Very
good. Excellent. Thank you, Lexi.
Yeah, no problem.
Next, Superintendent Legislative Update.
We'll start locally here. Last week, we held the fourth grade move to the middle school parent meeting. The presentation was about an hour long, and then we stayed for about another 2 hours-ish to talk to parents and answer them. For those that weren't able to attend, I do want to just point out that on the website, if you click under the fourth grade move to the middle school under the here, it will open up to an informational page. You'll have the letters that have been sent out. The PowerPoint from last Monday's meeting is on there, as well as what I shared with the board on November 12th. If you have a question, this part we're going to go, but here's the timeline that I outlined to the parents that our plan is each month. And again, that will evolve and develop as the administrative team and I work together, because I committed that there would be a next level of a parent meeting to get updates. But if you have a question, you can click on there, and up pops a form, and then at the bottom you can ask any question you want. To date, we have received 15 questions. One of them dealt with the odd. It did not deal with the third grade. So basically we have 14 questions. The current third grade is moving to the fourth grade middle school. A lot of them were discussed at the meeting, so we will be formulating the Q&A document, which will also be online, and it will be posted right here where it says coming soon. So I'll look forward to that. If you have a question, please feel free to submit a question. We are hosting a TRAP parent meeting on next Monday, the 17th of December. I believe we'll be here in the Media Center with Mr. Reinhardt and the TRAP parents, as well as the coaches, the volunteer coaches. Today I had an opportunity to go to the Richmond Lennox ribbon cutting ceremony with the passage of the Smart Village. They were able to expand their fleet. They have new propane buses, which actually they talked about the number of, since its inception in 1999, over 300,000 rides have been provided for this area. There were some phenomenal statistics that Jeff White, the chief of Richmond Lennox EMS, shared with us, which it's a great service that our community has. We go back to the state level, and then we come back to Richmond. This is continuation of lame duck. I spent a lot of time contacting our legislators, as well as many of the board members and staff members have done so. The House plans to vote late Tuesday and Wednesday of this week for final votes on the letter grade system. Unfortunately, our representatives have voted for this plan. There are concerns that I have shared with the representatives that the metrics that they actually use has errors in it, and so you are giving schools a grade on a system that has errors that we know of. So rather than wait and work through and finalize and get a system that we know works, it is on the fast track to be proposed. So that's House Bill 5526. The other piece in that one, which is most concerning, is the new Commission for Accountability, which basically strips away a lot of the power of the elected Board of Education, and it allows the exiting governor to appoint members to this committee prior to the governor exiting. If anything smells like something rotten, this does. So with that said, I'd encourage you to contact your legislators, and there is a lot of pressure. As I was told today that the governor and the leaders of the House and Senate have been lobbying this weekend, several legislators who are on the fence or who have committed to a no vote to try to sway them. Several states, West Virginia, Maine, Virginia, have repealed this system of letter grades. Indiana, Texas, and Florida, from education policy making, have repealed or put it on pause because it is not working. We are on a fast track to have it be in Michigan. Realtors, home builders, business owners have all expressed concerns over this because of the detrimental impact that this will have in the big picture. Innovative School District, it's another one. It's House Bill 6314 and 6315. They're planning on having a hearing on it tomorrow afternoon. The package was passed by a single vote in the House without addressing any of the concerns that were in the package. Basically, it allows innovative school districts to be exempt from state requirements, such as statewide testing, which you need for the letter grade. So those that are innovative, I guess, will be getting a letter grade from that perspective. So probably the most, which I believe, regardless of your position and regardless of what you believe on the issue, is the Tuesday or Wednesday they are supposed to take up on the House floor the action that will basically be another target to the MEA in terms of what they have stripped the MEA powers with during the release time and that whole aspect. It is specifically targeted towards teacher groups. It does not apply to police, fire, and other union organizations. So again, it's another target. And so with that, I have a little presentation I would like to do. We have two board members here that tonight is their last board meeting, and I just want to say it's been a pleasure working with both of you. Sue, I've gotten to know you through the Education Foundation as well as your short tenure here on the board, but what I appreciate most is you always look out for the kids in this district and what's in the best interest of the district, and you definitely have some big shoes to fill for your incoming board member, so I want to thank you for that. Tracy, I had the pleasure of you interviewing me, coming to my previous district and getting to know me as a person, and I've had truly the pleasure to work with you the last 5 years. Your passion towards the students and the dedication to do what's right for all students and for the district is definitely noted. I know I had heard you did not want a bell, so what we typically give a bell. So what I have done, and I will give it to Margaret, is I made a donation on both of your behalf to the Richmond Education Foundation because it does good work for the students. And I want to thank you for your service to the board. So if you would sign as one of the board directors and I'd like to present you with these certificates and pins to always remember Richmond Community Schools. And that's all I have.
Okay. We move on to items of interest from members of the board. I will just start to acknowledge Sue and Tracy as well. Sue, I've known you a lifetime, and have worked with you on the foundation as well. Your time here on the board was way too short. Your compassion, your intelligence when it comes to thinking things through and doing what's in the best interest of the students has been great, and it would have been even greater to be able to continue that path with you. But I know you're not going to walk away from doing things for Richmond kids because of your coaching that you do and work with the foundation. I know that you'll stick with that. We do good things on the foundation as well. So thank you for jumping in and wanting to be a part of this group and doing your best for the months that you were here. Appreciate it. Tracy has been here 8 years, and we came on at about the same time, and I did not know you at all. I knew your sisters, but did not know you, and your compassion for public education, your belief in public education is just astounding. I mean, if the conversations that we have had on the phone of, did you know about House Bill 3871? And I'd say, nope, but tell me about it. And, you know, Margaret, you need to write this, you need to do this. And you would bring those things up at the meetings. And your level of integrity, to always look out for the kids, whether we were in our discipline hearings along the way, but you have given everything you could possibly give and have come across some criticism over the years that you've had to endure by people who don't know what they're talking about. And I just truly appreciate all that you have done, and this board will miss you. The impact that you have made is great in a lot of ways. This board will miss you, and we just wish you well. And please don't be a stranger either. I know that there'll be nights you'll probably want to hang out and watch a meeting and see how to do things. But
on my free Monday nights.
Yeah, your free Monday nights. But just thank you. It's been an amazing road for me working with you on the board. Yep. Thank you.
Left a lot for the rest of us to say. Thanks a lot. I guess for me, as the year comes to an end, I just want to thank the 6 of you. The last 4 or 5 months has been really enjoyable and refreshing, having an entire board that had the desire to work together and a desire to do the job we're supposed to do. So I want to thank all of you for the work you've done the last 4 or 5 months. Sue, should have been longer. It's been fantastic. If people really knew your passion and your knowledge, it might have been a different outcome. Tracy, we've been on the opposite side of boats. Haven't always seen eye to eye, but it's never changed the way we've interacted. You've always respected me. I can't thank you enough for that. Anyone that's been to a meeting for 5 seconds or watched a meeting for 5 seconds would, unless they're a complete whatever, would know your dedication, how informed you are, and just your passion for this job. And that will, as Margaret said, be missed.
Okay. Moving on. Does anybody else have items of interest? I know there was something else, but I can't remember what I wanted to. Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That was the second thing. We had a fundraiser the other night, Saturday night, for Sandy's kids. We raised $2,000, which is so fabulous for the small amount of people that come into that place to support. It's just amazing, but I believe when people know that the money is staying right here in our community, helping our own kids and our own families, that's why it is so successful. I attended the meeting with the 4th grade move, and just want to publicly thank Mr. Walmsley, Mr. Koshin, Mr. Bartels, being there speaking. Ms. Napier spoke. Just this move will be good. I believe that it will be good, and I believe once everybody understands how it's going to happen, and if we keep communicating to people on the website that you've created, all of that stuff, it can be good. It's an exciting change, because we're growing. Growing is hard sometimes, but I thought that the meeting was good, and I think, you know, we can only get better as we get to the point to actually make the move. So thank you to the teachers that I know, Brian, that you have met with and who are in support, and those teachers that were there at the meeting. Some spoke, but it takes everybody to make it happen. Anybody else? Okay. So Tracy, we're looking for a motion to go into closed session for the evaluation.
I make a motion for us to go into closed session pursuant to section 8.6 of the Michigan Open Meeting, 8C, sorry, I can't read. Or is it 8A?
It's 8A,
Where am
actually.
I? Okay, 8A
Yep.
of the Michigan Open Meetings Act. Make a motion to go into closed session.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call. Tracy?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Jessica?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Sarah? Aye. And I vote aye. Motion carries. We are going to go into closed session and we will be back. We are back in open session at 9:55. We'll do item 14, action item A, regarding the student discipline hearing. Tracy?
A motion that following a closed session hearing, the board votes to expel student 121018, consistent with the attached resolution.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, annual summer tax resolution. The reason that is coming here tonight, really kind of, Brian and I just kind of forgetting that that is something that we do every year in December, so that's why it got thrown on tonight.
And we do need them to collect it for our cash flow. Make sure we have it.
We do it every year, so we get our cash flow. There's a sample resolution, Tracy.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve the summer tax resolution as presented in the attached documentation.
Support. It's been, oh, good, thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you. No, we'll work. It has been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, Tracy, motion to approve the superintendent's evaluation.
Okay, wait. Oh, you just have to be in the right spot.
Do you have, would you like me to bring it to you?
No, it's okay, I got it. Right
Tracy,
here.
do you have a
Just
motion?
I'm clicking. Okay. A motion to approve the superintendent's evaluation as presented in the attached documentation.
We're looking, Mrs. Boyd, from something from you.
I support.
Thank you. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Other than I just want to note that Brian was given a highly effective evaluation this year, and just want to thank him for his continued hard work on behalf of the district. I say it every year, and I will probably continue to say it every year until I leave. Brian, you are exactly what we thought you were when we hired you. We appreciate you. We appreciate the work you've done and the things that you've brought to the district, so thank you.
You know, as you sit here and think about votes over the numbers of years that I've been here, sitting on this side of the table, there are some that you remember a lot, some that you wish you could take back and do a different way, and there are some that you are extraordinarily proud of. And voting yes to have you be the superintendent is one that I am the most proud of over the years. Your integrity, your character, your willingness to go above and beyond consistently, with always thinking about every single child, every single student, is absolutely fabulous in what you do. Thank you for raising the bar, increasing the standard for all people who work in the district. And then that means that we have raised raised the level of what's happening for every child. And And so I appreciate you. I also wish for you to send a thank you to your family, just because you work so many hours, and balancing family life with work life, I know what that must mean, that you must not be present at things that are family important so that you can focus on work. So thank them from me, and I just appreciate you.
Ditto. Okay, it has been moved and supported. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next, with respect to Brian's evaluation, comes with if the superintendent receives an effective evaluation, he has a 5-year contract and it continues to roll for another year, so it stays a 5-year contract. So whenever the board does the superintendent's evaluation, we then amend the superintendent's contract. So Tracy, I'm looking for a motion.
I motion to approve the amendment to the superintendent's contract as presented in the attached documentation.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Other than I want to point out that with respect to the amendment to the contract, along with adding the extra year to continue the 5-year, we are, based on Mr. Walmsley getting a highly effective evaluation, we are giving him a 3% salary increase and 2 additional holidays in his contract. It has been moved and supported and discussed. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Walmsley. Thank you. And Tracy and Sue, you're still board members till December 31st. This may be your last meeting, but you are still board members, so don't go running away on us yet.
All right.
But thank you to both of you. It is 10 o'clock. We are adjourned.